welcome all in my lecture entitled Regulatory Requirements of Medical Devices. In this lecture, we will discuss the compliances and regulations related to medical devices exist in India and WHO guidelines for the medical devices and regulatory requirements. The term medical devices covers a vast range of equipment from simple tongue depressor to hemodialysis machines like medicines and other health technologies. They are essential for patient care at the bedside, at the rural health, clinical or at the large specialized hospitals. Medical devices also cost governments a substantial amount of money. In 2000, the estimated 1.5 million different medical devices available on the market represented over $145 billion. With innovation and the rapid advancement of technologies, medical devices are currently one of the fastest growing industries, and the global market figure for 2006 is expected to exceed $260 billions. Yet many countries lack access to high quality devices and equipments that are appropriate for their specific epidemiological needs. This is particularly true in developing countries where health technology assessments are rare and where tight regulatory controls exist to prevent the importation or use of substandard devices. With the vast majority of devices in developing countries being imported, this leaves them prey to unscrupulous market influences and puts patients' lives at risk. Governments need to put in place policies that will address all elements related to medical devices, ranging from access to high quality, affordable products through to their safe and appropriate use and disposal. Now we will discuss medical devices, compliances and regulation in India. There are around 800 products of pharmaceutical goods and devices in India, and the country's market is the fourth largest in Asia. The current period can be described as transitory since many regulatory changes have yet to take effect, while others are on the verge of doing so. We begin by examining the regulation in order to satisfy those demands. Now we are discussing on regulatory bodies in India and important regulations. There are two regulatory bodies in India: Central Drug Standard Control Organization CDSCO and Indian Council of Medical Research ICMR. The Medical Device Regulation Act of 2020 serves as the regulatory framework for medical devices. Medical devices and IVDs are controlled by the Drug Controller General of India DCGI, which is part of the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Central Drug Standard Control Organization CDSCO, governing and allowing authority. The Drugs and Cosmetics Act 1940 DCA governs the quality and safety of medical devices in India. Only notified medical devices that are periodically notified by the government as drugs are covered by the DCA. Under the DCA, Medical Devices Regulations 2017 MDR were drafted. All producers, importers and marketers of notified medical devices must adhere to these standards comprehensive quality criteria. The Indian Medical Device Regulations as laid forth by the Central Drug Standard Control Organization must be followed by any medical devices entering India. CDSCO. The MDR was updated and applied to all medical devices as of April 1st, 2020. Newly notified medical devices. Only 37 kind of medical equipment were regulated prior to the change. To get the registration certification, medical device management systems requirements for regulatory purposes. According to a recent notification from April 1st, 2020, medical devices that meet the following definition will be regulated as drug under the DCA and MDR. All devices including an instrument, apparatus, appliances, implant, material or other article, whether used alone or in combination, including software or an accessory intended by their manufacturer to be used specifically for human beings or animals, which does not achieve the primary intended action in or on the human body or animals by any pharmacological, immunological or metabolic means, but which may assist in its intended function by such means for one or more are as diagnosis, prevention, monitoring, treatment, alleviation or assistance for any disease or disorders. Diagnosis, monitoring, treatment, alleviation or assistance for any injury or disability. Third one is investigation, replacement or modification or support of the anatomy or of a physical process. Fourth one is a supporting or sustaining life. 5. Definition of medical devices, and 6th one is control of consumption. The MDR amendment April 2020 makes two significant adjustments to MDR. The addition of a new chapter to allow producers and importers to register newly national medical device as mentioned previously. The 37 categories of existing regulated or notified medical devices are exempted from the registration requirements. Now I am going to explain the process of registration. Before October 1st, 2021, producers and exporters of newly approved medical devices were supposed to register with the Drug Controller General of India DCGI. Some medical devices, however, are exempt from the registration requirement because they are already regulated or have been reported to be regulated. The government has simplified the registration procedure and it is no longer necessary to hear a full service marketing registration or authorization agent. By submitting this information, any importer or maker of newly notified medical devices will be able to register online. The required informations are: what are the information required to register? Name of the corporation, firm or other legal entity, name and location of manufacturing facility for devices manufactured in India only, medical equipment specifications and standards for imported devices only, medical device information, generic name, model number, intended use, class of medical device, material of construction, dimension if applicable, shelf life, sterile or non-sterile status and brand name only if registered under Indian trademark legislation, certificate of compliance with respect to ISO 13485 standard accredited by National Accreditation Board for certification bodies or International Accreditation Forum in respect to such medical devices, free sale certificate from the country of origin for imported devices only, a duly signed undertaking stating that the information furnished by the applicant is true and authentic. The registration number is issued when the documents are submitted online. Only when the registration number is generated successfully will the registration be complete. The new amendments registration deadline declaration for newly notified medical devices in October 1st, 2021 until registration is acquired. The importer or producer will be unable to promote and sell their newly notified medical equipment in India. However, there are 37 kind of medical devices that were regulated or notified before to February 11, 2020 and are exempt from the new rules registration requirement, allowing them to continue operating under the license issued by the relevant licensing body. Every producer and importer who receives a registration number for their medical equipments must show the number on the label. The declaration of a registration number, on the other hand, has no bearing on the registration deadline, October 1st, 2021, unless DCGI orders otherwise. Labeling is an urgent obligation that will begin as soon as the registration number is provided. Implementation of ISO 3485 in newly notified devices for registration requirement. A certificate of compliance with ISO 3485 medical devices quality management system requirements for regulatory purposes is required for registration of a newly notified medical devices. A registered importer or maker of a medical devices should adhere to ISO 13485 criteria at all times. ISO 13485 is responsible for the establishment, documentation and execution of a quality management system, which must be amended from time to time by an independent audit. What happens when license is not obtained on time? If a maker or importer of a newly reported medical devices does not get registration on time, the DCGI halts its operations until registration is secured. Under the legal metrology packaged commodity rules of 2011, the importer or manufacturer of a medical devices, whether regulated or unregulated, must now state the date of import or production on the device's label. As a result, all devices made or imported must be tagged with a DCGI registration number. If it fails to display the registration number, DCGI or the applicable state licensing authorities will take action. If a breach of the MDR is discovered, a criminal prosecution with a sentence of imprisonment and a fine may be issued. Any stockpile of medical devices sold without a license or registration might be confiscated. The new MDR 2020 regulation ensure that every medical equipment, whether made in India or imported, is subjected to quality control before being distributed or sold on the market. The government has also provided the industry enough time to implement ISO 13485 and quality management system. The timetable of acquiring a license and registration of medical equipment, including previously uncontrolled medical devices, will provide pharmaceutical corporations a break. Now it is up to the industry to play its role in reinforcing the Indian consumers and worldwide communities' confidence in the quality and safety of medical devices marketed in India. The global overview of WHO and their guidelines for medical devices. Medical devices means any instrument, apparatus, implement, machine, appliance, implant, in vitro reagent or calibrator, software, material or other similar or related article intended by the manufacturer to be used alone or in combination for human being for one or more of the specific purposes of diagnosis, prevention, monitoring, treatment or alleviation of diseases, diagnosis, monitoring, treatment, alleviation of or compensation for an injury, investigation, replacement, modification or support of anatomy or of a physiological process, supporting or sustaining life, control of conception, disinfection of medical devices, providing information for medical purposes by means of in vitro examination of specimen derived from the human body and which does not achieve its primary intended action in or on the human body by pharmacological, immunological or metabolic means, but which may be assisted in its function by such means. An accessory is not considered to be a medical device. However, where An accessory is intended specifically by the manufacturer to be used together with the parent medical device to enable the medical device to achieve its intended purpose. It should be subject to the same procedures and GHTF guidance documents as applied to the medical devices itself. The regulation of medical device is a vast and rapidly evolving field that is often complicated by legal technicalities. For example, legal terms and their meanings are sometimes non-uniform even within one regulatory system. In an attempt to make this complex subject easier to grasp, here we presents a common framework that integrates the regulatory system of the 5 countries or regulations with the most advanced medical device regulations. Non-technical language, graphics, tables and memory anchors are used to present an overview of medical device safety issues and regulatory philosophy. The guide begins by explaining how safety is a risk management issues and how optimum safety and performance require cooperation among all who are involved in the lifespan of a medical device. The critical element of medical device regulations are illustrated using a common framework for regulatory development as well as the current regulatory tool of the Global Harmonization Task Force GHTF and all the key documents it has issued in the past 3 years. Understanding the different phases in the lifespan of medical devices and the common framework are first steps to successful harmonization and simplification worldwide. Medical device safety. The optimum assurance of medical device safety have several essential elements. Absolute safety cannot be guaranteed. It is risk management issue. It is closely aligned with device effectiveness and performance. It must be considered throughout the life span of the device. It requires shared responsibility among the stakeholders. Medical device safety and risk management. Safety can only be considered in relative terms. All devices carry a certain degree of risk and could cause problem in specific circumstances. Many medical device problems cannot be detected until extensive market experience is gained. For example, an implantable device may fail in a manner that was not predictable at the time of implantation. The failure may reflect conditions unique to certain patients. For other devices, component failure can also be unpredictable or random. The current approach to device safety is to estimate the potential of a device becoming a hazard that could result in safety problem and harm. Risk is a measure of combination of the hazard and second one is the likelihood of concurrence of the adverse event. Third one is the severity or overall impact. Risk assessment begins with risk analysis to identify all possible hazards followed by risk evaluation to estimate the risk of each hazard. In general, risk assessment is based on experience, evidence, computation or even guesswork. Risk assessment is complex as it can be influenced by personal perceptions and other factors such as cultural background, economic conditions and political climates. In practice, risk assessment of medical devices is based on the experience of health care professionals and on safety design engineers. In the United States, governmental risk assessment of medical devices is based mainly on recommendation from members of 16 medical specialty panel, and devices are categorized into 3 classes. In the European Union and Canada, The classification schemes for medical devices are predominantly rule based. These rules categorize medical devices according to their perceived potential hazards. Canada assigns 4 classes of devices. The European Union assigns 3 classes, with class second being subdivided into second A and second B, effectively also 4 classes. The Global Harmonization Task Force GSTF is proposing a harmonized scheme for medical device classification. In classifying devices, potential area of hazard that warrant consideration include the degree of invasiveness, duration of contact, the body system affected, and local versus systematic effects. An invasive device is usually considered to have higher potential hazard than an equivalent non-invasive device. For example, there are invasive and non-invasive blood pressure monitors. Similarly, devices that have a long duration of contact that affect vital organs such as heart or the great arteries, or that have systematic effects are assigned higher classes of potential hazard or risk. The degree of regulation imposed on any device is proportional to its potential hazards. This approach is known as risk management. The first requirement of an essential principle of safety and performance of medical devices recommended by the GSTF SG1 N020 R5 illustrates such an approach. It states that medical devices should be designed and manufactured in such a way that when used under the condition and for the purposes intended, and where applicable by virtue of the technical knowledge, experience, education or training of intended users, they will not compromise the clinical conditions or the safety of patients or the safety and health of users, or where applicable other persons, provided that any risk which may be associated with their use constitute acceptable risks when weighted against the benefit to the patient and are compatible with a high level of protection or health and safety. Effectiveness, performance of medical devices. Every device has designed purpose. A device is clinically effective when it produces the effect intended by the manufacturer relative to the medical conditions. For example, if a device is intended for pain relief, one expects the device to actually relieve pain and would also expect the manufacturer to possess objective scientific evidence such as clinical test results that the device does in fact relieve pain. Clinical effectiveness is a good indicator of device performance. Performance, however, may include technical functions in addition to clinical effectiveness. For example, an alarm feature may be directly contribute to clinical effectiveness but would serve other useful purposes. Furthermore, it is easier to measure objectively and quantify performance than clinical effectiveness. Performance is closely linked to safety. For example, a blood collection syringe with a blunt needle would perform badly for collecting blood and could inflict injury. A patient monitor that does not perform well could pose serious clinical safety problems to the patient. Thus, the safety and performance of medical devices are normally considered together. The previous discussion highlights the inherent risk of medical devices. It is incumbent on the medical device manufacturer to demonstrate that all possible risks associated with the device are identified and adequately addressed. The role of regulatory authority is to ensure that the manufacturer has effectively implemented the risk management process and fulfilled other regulatory requirements. The coming section expands this issue and illustrates how order aspects in the lifespan of medical devices can affect their safety and performance. Phases in the lifespan of a medical device. Major phases in the lifespan of a medical device from conception and development to disposal. The activity phases are simplified to make it easier to understand the regulatory system. For example, the development phase includes development planning, design verification, validation, prototype testing and clinical trials. In practice, the phase outlined may overlap and interact. The role of each participant, stakeholder, the manufacturer as the creator of the device must ensure that it is manufactured to meet or exceed the required standard of safety and performance. This includes the three phases: design, development, testing, manufacturing, packaging and labeling. That leads to product being ready for the market. The vendor provides the interface between the product and the user. He or she should ensure that the products sold comply with regulatory requirements. With increasing public interest in health and a competitive marketplace, vendors should be careful to avoid making misleading or fraudulent claims about the products or issuing false compliance certificates. In addition, used or refurbished devices should be clearly labeled as such. The user should make sure that he or she has qualifications and training in the proper use of the devices and is familiar with the indications, contraindications and operating procedures recommended by the manufacturer. It is crucial that experience gained with the medical device be shared with other users, the vendor and manufacturer, to prevent future problems. This can be done by reporting any incidents to a coordinating center from which warning can be issued. The public are the ultimate beneficiary of medical devices. They should be fully aware that all devices carry a certain risk and that they can help to promote safety and performance through self education and by putting customer pressure on manufacturer to comply with standards. Medical devices are increasingly available for home use, making the public the direct user purchaser of home use medical devices should be aware of associated risks and take the responsibility to become educated in the functions and correct operating procedure for those devices. That's all in this lecture, and in next lecture we will learn about ethical consideration in clinical trials and research. Thanks for listening me.